Vynyly here, and welcome to another 5 on Friday. The album today, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. This is not an original. This is remastered, reissued. It's a new copy. And yes, I'm one of these guys that will keep the shrink wrap on because this is not a gatefold, so I just have to kind of cut the edge and I get the album out. Also, the hype sticker here says this is the #1 thrash metal album of all time. I'm sure there could be some debate about that, but what there is no debate about is that I've got 5 things to tell you about this album. So, 5 on Friday, Metallica Ride the Lightning. Let's go. Number 1, this album was released on July 27th, 1984, and the title comes from the Stephen King book, The Stand, in which a character refers to being executed in an electric chair as Ride the Lightning. Now, the cover of the album also depicts an electric chair being struck by lightning, and you have guitarist Kirk Hammett to thank for that. Number 2, Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, was recorded on the Megaforce label, as was this one. But Megaforce didn't have a lot of money, so Metallica ended up having to sleep in the studio. Their gear had been stolen 3 weeks prior to beginning recording.
Just before we had left for Europe to start the Venom thing, our equipment, all of our equipment had got stolen in Boston, and except for our guitars. I mean, all drums, all Marshalls, that we've been with for years, and we had to borrow some equipment to finish up some dates in the States so we could, have the money to get over to Europe. And then we did the dates with Venom on rented gear, and went into the studio after that, and we borrowed every band's equipment, in Copenhagen. We were trying, out, Merciful Fate stuff, a couple other local bands there, and I just tried every Marshall head in, Denmark practically, and I was just about to give up. It was just so frustrating. Then there was this little music shop somewhere in a little hole in the wall, found this French-made Marshall, and said, what the hell, just plugged it in, and, it sounded pretty good.
Once the album was recorded, Megaforce couldn't afford the $30,000 recording bill, so Metallica's European label, Music for Nations, paid for that. Metallica was not super happy with Megaforce and their lack of funds, especially for promotion once the album was done. So they left Megaforce and ultimately signed with Elektra Records after the president of Elektra Records, by invitation, saw the band perform at Roseland Ballroom on August 3rd, 1984. Number 3, critics were pleased with the more mature and broader writing on this album, and a lot of that was influenced by bassist Cliff Burton, kind of helping the other guys learn a little bit more about music theory. In addition to that, producer Flemming Rasmussen and roadie Flemming Larsen worked with Lars Ulrich on drum timing. Lars, in the early days, had a tendency to kind of speed up as the song went on, and they helped him keep in time, and that kind of really pulled everything together from a music perspective. Interested in seeing framed copies of albums and album artwork? Head on over to vynyly.com, vynyly.com. Take a look at what we have over there. Number 4, this was the last Metallica album to include writing credits for Dave Mustaine, who got credit for Ride the Lightning and Call of Cthulhu, and it was the first to include Mustaine's replacement, Kirk Hammett. Mustaine went on to form Megadeth, which, if you're a Metallica fan, I do not need to tell you that, but I said it anyway. Number 5, Fade to Black is one of the very few Metallica songs that got any kind of radio airplay in the early days. There are some other interesting things about Fade to Black as well. It was the last song the band performed with Jason Newsted before he left the band. Singer James Hetfield was burned during another show when the flame effect that they used during Fade to Black, he stepped in front of it and it burned him. He was protected a little bit by his guitar, but still had some pretty significant burns from that incident.
was an incident with the pyrotechnics. Unfortunately, James is on his way to the hospital right now, and we're very sorry, but we can't continue the concert for you guys tonight.
Fade to Black is also a song that was used for several radio stations when they either were going off the air or changing formats. For example, Los Angeles KNAC played Fade to Black as their last song in 1995. WYSP in Philadelphia, before they changed over to Sports Talk, their last song that they played was Fade to Black. And Power 97 in Winnipeg, Canada did the same thing in 2015. Thank you guys for watching another 5 on Friday. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. In the early days, there are a few other odd facts with Fade to